Now, if you believe in Christian rock, Christian contemporary music, something with a rock beat, and you say, hey, you know that's bad music, they will say, no, it's the words that matter. The message, they say, is in the words. Okay? They say that music is amoral. Okay? I believe, and I will show from the Bible, that music is moral. Not the lyrics. We're not talking about lyrics today. We're not talking about words. We're talking about music. The sound, the style. Does God have a favorite style? Is there a style of music that God hates? Is there a sound that God hates? Is there a sound, a style that God loves? If so, then music is moral. And if it is moral, we must draw a line and say on this side of the line, this music is bad. It's a sin. And the other side of the line, it is good and we need to have it. We need it. Okay? So the question is today, is music moral? And the first way to answer that is music, does it have a message or is the message in the words? I was playing some games yesterday and I was saying some nice words but in a very cruel way. And you know what? Whenever I said nice words but in a mean-spirited way, they understood I was being mean-spirited. Why? Because the message is not in the words. The message, even when you communicate, is how you say it. You come and start screaming at your child, I love you! I love you! Go to your room! I love you! They're going to think, oh, you're mad at me. Why? The message is in how you say it. More than what you actually say. Same with music. Really, the words do contain a message, but the music even more of a message than the words. So, those who want rock music will say, no, there's no message in the music. So I'm going to play 3 clips, and I want you to tell me if you sense something is being communicated to you. Okay? Let's listen to this first one. You tell me what kind of music or what kind of message it is. What kind of message is that? How would you feel? Does it give you a message? Feel like you gotta get out of bed, you gotta go march, you gotta go fight, right? Is there a message there? Is that something you'll fall asleep listening to? Put your children to sleep? No, because there's a message. And that's why they use it in the military. It's called a reveille. It's what wakes you up. Listen to this. Is there a message there? What's the message? Someone died. Happy or sad? Exciting or somber? Solemn? Solemn. Sad. Okay? There's a message. Now, are you listening to the words? There's no words, right? How about this one? What's that? Yeah, it's like, hey, race horses, get lined up. Right? The horse race is about to begin. He's about to lose money. Okay? So, there is a message in the music. You don't need words to have a message. There is a message in the words. If you went to a general and said, hey, can you play Taps, the sad song for me while we march? The general's going to say, no, that's the wrong message. I want my guys up, fighting, active with vigor. So there is a message in music. If we turn to the Bibles, it says the same thing. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 23. 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 23. So you might know the story that King Saul, he had a demon that was bothering him. And so his advisor said, hey, if you really want to make the demon go away, you're going to play music. And so they found a guy, his name was David. He later became King David. and he was good in the heart. It says, and it came to pass, when the evil spirit from God was upon Saul, that David took a harp and played with his hand. Did it say he sang with his voice? Did he use words? No, he took his hand, he played a harp. So Saul was refreshed and was well, and the evil spirit departed from him. Here we have an example where music is used to do good. Music has the power to do good. Music has the power to remove demons. That's why we have music in our services. Okay? The demons cannot stand in the presence of good music, and that's according to the Bible. So David's music had nothing to do with his words. It's what he played with his hand. Okay? Now we won't turn there, but in Exodus chapter 32, there is a chapter in the Bible about Moses. He went up into Mount Sinai, down there at the bottom of the mountain. The people rebelled, and they said, Aaron, make for us a golden calf. And so he did, and then Moses comes down and says, hey Joshua, what's going on down there? I hear a sound. I don't know if it's the sound, it sounds like war. It didn't say anything about words. He says, I don't know if it's someone conquering or someone receiving, conquered. So he said, I don't know what this is, but this sound, just the sound, is the sound of war. Now what was it? It was golden calf worship. It was the sound of the worship of idols. So in other words, as we saw that there's a sound that kicks demons out, there's also music has the power to do good. That means music has the power to do bad. Here in Exodus chapter 32, we find that music has the power to do bad. Okay? Now I went and I looked on YouTube, and I'm no expert in this, but I looked at some music styles that is used by people in Church of Satan. Okay, Satan worship, Satan music. Okay? I'm no expert, but this is the kind. You tell me, I'm going to play 3 clips, and I want you to tell me which one you think is used for Satan, and which one you think is used to glorify God in Christian churches. Alright? So you got to tell me, this one is demonic, or it's sacred for God. Just that. That's it. Where do you think they use that? And that is the most authentic I could find music they use in seances. A seance is where you call forth the demon. You want to speak to the dead, you got to call forth the demon. They have a shaman, and the shaman will come and speak to the dead. First he has to enter into a trance, and to enter into the trance he needs to call forth the demon. That's the music that they play. Did you notice that beat? Did you notice any words? They don't need words. They don't need to say, demon, demon. They don't need these words. Okay? We got plenty of demons here. Okay? Now, I saw a couple of you start to stand up. I know a couple of you are demons because they start standing up when I play that, alright? Alright, let's listen to the second one. Okay, which one do you think? How do you know? You don't even hear any lyrics. There's no lyrics, it's just sounds. See, you know. You know. You don't have to have somebody teach you. You do not need to be a Christian for 27 years. You hear the sound and you know. If I played this for a lost person, would they know? Sure. They'll know. Even a baby knows. It's not something, it's intrinsic. Okay? It's something that God puts in your heart. It's something that has to do with the flesh versus the spirit. So far you're 2 for 2. I have one more. Maybe you're just good guessers. Okay? I don't know if those are actually words or not. But you don't need words. You know what that is, right? Okay? You can tell in your spirit, in your soul, you know that there is a message in music. You know that it's apart from the words, that there is something that's being communicated. Okay? In other words, music has the power to do good, and music has the power to do bad. This is by association. We can automatically, you can associate good and bad music. You don't need years and years of training. Now, if you believe like what they did at the Baptist 120-year Baptist reunion, I don't know what they called it. They were playing stuff like that last clip. They're playing that rock beat. They should know better. I think they do. They don't care. 2 Kings chapter 3 verse 15, don't need to turn there. But basically Elisha was called up before 3 kings that were going out into battle. They were in a battle. And they said, we need to hear from God. And Elisha said, okay, fine, I'll talk to God, but God won't speak to me until first I have a minstrel come and play. A minstrel. In other words, music opens up the portal. Music opens up the communication line between man and the spirit world. Not just to heaven, but also to hell. Not just to God, but also to Satan and to demons. That is what music can do. And we see that from the story there. So Elisha says, I can't, God won't speak to me. I need to open up the communication. First, I need a minstrel to play. Why? Because music has the power to do good. Music has the power to cast out demons. Music has the power to call forth demons. Music has the power to open up the communication between man and the spirit world. Psalm chapter 40 verse 3 says that there is a change. There is a change in your music upon salvation. I'll just read it real quick. Psalm chapter 40 verse 3. It says, and he has put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our God. Many shall see it and fear and trust in the Lord. Okay, now there's a lot of things to that verse. Number one is there's a new song and there's an old song. And you receive the new song when God puts it in your mouth. And God does not put that new song into the mouth of unbelievers. He puts in you a new song, a new music, a new style of music when you get saved. If your music style is the same after you get saved than before you got saved, either one, you're in rebellion like what the speaker mentioned last night, or two, the speaker mentioned last night, you're not saved. When you get saved, he doesn't say he might give you a new song. It says he gives you a new song. And one of the things that music does is it manifests, it shows if you are truly saved. If you have bad music, you might be lost. You might be lost. How would you know if you're not? You know your own heart? No, you don't. Your heart will deceive you above all things. Your heart is desperately wicked. Are you saved? If you're saved, you have a new song. Why would you bury it? If I gave you $1 million, would you bury it? You'd use it. You'd spend it on lottery tickets. Okay? You'd use it. It's something that was given to you. It's something great. It's huge. You would use it. If you're saved, you have a new song. You will use it. You won't bury it. If you do and you choose the old song, you're in rebellion or you're not saved. That goes for everybody. You can be in a ministry and be lost. How do you know if you're saved? One way you know you're saved is the music that you listen to. If you like the old music, then you are not listening to your new song. You're not using it. You're ignoring what speaks to the spirit, and you're only using what speaks to the flesh and the demonic world. So there is, again, there's a difference in that sound. If music is amoral, if there is no line, then your music can be the same as when you were saved. But here it says a new song, and when an unbeliever hears that new song, what do they feel? It's fear. It's fear. It says, many shall see it and fear. And what will they do when they fear? Trust in the Lord. So when an unbeliever hears a new song, it should cause them to fear. Not join, not like it, not feel entertainment. It will say, I don't like this, makes me feel afraid. There's something different. There's something there that I don't have. What is it? I need it. I don't have it. They will fear, and that fear will bring about repentance, and they will trust in the Lord. Your music should testify against them. How is it going to do that if it's the same as what they already have? You have a new song. And I'm not talking about the lyrics. This is not talking about the lyrics. Nothing in any of these verses, not the minstrel, not the harp, none of these are talking about the lyrics. The new song is the sound. It's the music. Do you have a new song? Do you have new music? Psalm 118:14, Exodus 15:2, and Isaiah 12:2 uses the Hebrew word zimrat. It's only used 3 times in the Bible. And it is song. And it literally means to strike or pluck with the fingers. That means it is an instrumental song. It says, all 3 of those times is talking about God. In other words, it's saying that God is an instrumental musician. God plucks with his fingers and he makes sound. That's what it's saying. God is musical. The Bible says, Zephaniah 3:17, that he, God, will joy over thee with singing. God sings. Zechariah 9:14, the Lord God shall blow the trumpet. Here we see God playing the trumpet. Matthew 26:30, and when they had sung an hymn, Jesus with his disciples went out and sung hymns. We see that God sings, he plays instruments. The word song is only used for God. When it talks about instrumental music, it tells us God is musical. He's a musical being. You're made in the image of God. So are you. So am I. So is Satan. Satan is musical. Ezekiel 28:13 talks about the pipes that was created in him since the day that he was created. In other words, Satan was created to be God's music minister, God's orchestra director. We learned about the 5 cherubs. You know, Michael was his general, Gabriel is his messenger. What was Lucifer? What was the adversary, the Satan? It was his musician. You think that Satan's going to say, oh, I have this powerful gift. I was created to use this gift. It's with music. And then he's going to forget he has it? No. He's going to use it. And he does use it. And we see it. We know that music is moral. It can be used for good by God. It can be used for bad by Satan. It's not the lyrics. It's in the music. The message is in the music. 1 Chronicles chapter 5:22 and Psalm 33:3 tells us that we need to play with skill. Skill. Doesn't say gifted. Something you're born with. Or when you get saved. It's not with talent. It's something you're born with. It says with skill. It's something you work at. It's something you practice. You sing in tune. You sing on tempo. When you sing with the right sounds. That is with skill. Why? That's because our music is a reflection of our sacrifice to God. If you were to give God, during the Taal volcano, a bunch of people gave relief goods. All the brown guys around me filled their ceiling with relief goods. Their basketball courts filled with relief goods. Almost all of it is just garbage. And a lot of it is just rotten food. What does that say about the people who made those donations? Cheap. They just want attention. They just want the praise of man. How much help was it? It was no help. Now it's just, what are you going to do with all this garbage now? And our music is the same principle. When we give our music to God, it's a reflection of who we are worshiping. If I came in here with shorts and with a t-shirt, a Hawaiian shirt and shorts, maybe with some sandals, chanelas, came here casual, what are you going to think? You think I worship a casual God. But I don't. That's why I dress up for church. Why? Because it's a reflection of my God. I don't do it to look good. I don't do it because I want people to see me in a suit. I do it because I want to reflect upon my God that I worship. So we have to draw a line somewhere. And we all have to agree where we should draw a line. If it's music, if it's moral, it can be used for good and for bad, and somewhere we have to draw a line. So the question is, where do we draw the line? So I'm going to play some music, and let's listen to it. Same song. So you hear that, right? Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. But did you hear something else too with it? Now let's listen to the second one. Same words, same song. Hear a difference? I do. I'm going to tell you that it was a lot different than the first one. Now he sang with something called Greystone. He scooped. Oh, holy night. Okay, that's Greystone. That's scooping. It's where you don't quite hit the note on the beat. Okay? Somewhere we need to draw a line if that's acceptable or not. Now let's listen to the third one. Can you hear it? Okay, that's what? Yeah, probably, and a lot of cigarettes later. So, we hear the same song 3 different ways, and somewhere we need to draw a line and say, this is against God. This will call forth demons. And then we, on the other side of the line, we say, this is for God. This will repulse the demons. It will call forth our communication with God. That's why it's important we have music in our services before the preaching, so that we can open up the spirit world to heaven. Alright? So where did you draw the line? Now, the only really sensible way to draw the line, and I'll finish with this, is to remove the backbeat, or the rock beat, or the syncopated beat. That's a line, at all times, when you use it, it is evil. Okay? It's what focuses on the rhythm, it takes away the message in the harmony. So what is the backbeat? Now this could be on watching a cartoon with your children, and there's a song on there and it has this backbeat or rock beat. Mute it. Push mute. My children are not allowed to watch anything without the remote control in their hand. Because no matter what it is, a little cartoon for 5-year-olds or 3-year-olds or 1-year-olds, what are they going to do? They're going to play music with a backbeat. And so when my children or myself, when we listen to it, we hit that mute button. I can read the subtitles. Okay? So what is a backbeat? I'm going to have this guy, he's a musician, he talks about what is a backbeat. One, two, three, four. That's the backbeat. Should be under one of the three. This action takes subdivides Okay, now we're going to add a hi-hat pattern. He's going to play another backbeat. Not really part of these things. You'll hear more of it in those places. Don't worry. Now, anything back to that. 5 2. Track we're using is track number 5. E minor focus. It's going to have the backbeat. You hear that beat? You ever notice just sitting on the jeepney, they'll just play that beat? They don't need a song, they don't need anything else, they just play that beat incessantly. That means over and over and over. Why do they do that? Just that beat, just playing that rock beat. I sit at Jeep meets all the time. They just play that the whole day. Why do they do that? No melody. There's no lyrics. It's just that beat going incessantly again and again and again. Why? Because that's what they want. That's the message that they're looking for. It proves that there's a message in that backbeat or in that rock beat. So here's what I would encourage you. Stay away from that rock beat. Okay? Stay away from it. Be not conformed to this world. You need to have a new song. And what fellowship had light with darkness? You can't say, well, I'll put Christian words, that's light, and I'll fellowship with rock beat, and that's darkness, let's put it together. But the Bible says, wait a minute, what fellowship do they have? One is light, one is dark. You cannot mix the two and say, well, I have something new. It's light or it's dark, it's good or it's bad. It's clean or it's dirty. If you mix dirty with clean, it's all dirty. If you mix good with bad, it all becomes bad. So it does not matter only what the words are. The words matter, of course. But also equally or more important, you're going to find there's a message in the music. If you hear that rock beat, stay away from it. Mute it. Don't put it in your churches. Don't let it be in your CDs in your homes. Don't let it be on... You cannot find a Christian radio station that doesn't have that rock beat in their songs. So listen to something else. There's plenty of good music you can find on YouTube. And there's a website you can live stream. There's a website called sermonaudio.com. You can listen to, or not sermon audio, Abiding Radio. Abidingradio.com. Or is it .org? I think it's .com. Abidingradio.com. You can listen to that, and they'll play music that has no rock music. So stay away from it. Don't be fooled. Don't be deceived. There's a message to the music. It is moral. It can be used for good and bad. And that rock and roll. .org. Abidingradio.org. That's good music. It streams 24 hours a day, every day. Not going to have commercials coming up. And you're going to hear good, godly music. And you will know, and I think you already know, how to tell the difference. If you're saved, you will want this new song. You'll be drawn to it. If you're lost in rebellion, you'll be drawn by your flesh toward that one.